Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. For the delay. I had Wi-Fi issues, which is awful. Let us get Pauline onto the stage. It's a good number of you here, which is excellent to see. I am probably a familiar or unfamiliar face. I'm Anthony, one of the co-founders of Encode. As some of you may know, we have a big event on this weekend. Hence, it's all chaos. So the CEO is leading the workshops, which is always good to see. We're delighted to have, if my Wi-Fi doesn't completely die as soon as I want to start a workshop, I don't know, the Wi-Fi has actually gone down. The maintenance guys just told us that it's gone down, so I've switched on to hotspot, which is fucking great. We'd like to have Pauline from Wormhole talk about all things Multigov. I'm told that this is a brand new presentation, so that means you have to ask lots of questions, which I will moderate myself. So Pauline, lovely to have you back with us, and I'll let you get started.
Yes, thank you very much. So hopefully we get the internet working, the presentation working, and lots of questions.
All the things.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna start sharing the presentation. Give me a second. All right. And I will share this one. So can you see this, Anthony? Can you tell me, because I don't see you guys anymore?
No, I'm here and ready. Yes, we do perfectly.
Okay, cool. So, so first, before we start, so my name is Pauline, and I am the DevRel at Wormhole. And so today we're going to talk about a product that Wormhole has released recently. And one thing that I want to be very clear in this session with all of you guys, because I know this whole Educate session is the whole series is supposed to lead you towards probably building something or hacking on a project with Wormhole and using our product. I think this product is very interesting at this point, and you will understand very quickly why. It is probably not on the implementation side that we will discuss that much today, for the main reason that Multigov is a product that you can use once you already have a multi-chain token, and also this native multi-chain token needs to also be your governance token. So there's actually two prerequisites for this product to make sense. It might not be the first use case, and usually it's much easier for people who discover Wormhole to use Entity or to use the SDK or Connect or even queries. But this one is a really interesting one. And so we can just consider this whole session a bit more learning about how DAO governance work, why you might want to get into a multi-chain DAO or Multigov token. So we're gonna go through a few things. So wait, this is not moving. It's frozen, no, for you? Is it frozen for you? I cannot move my.
It is stuck on Wormhole. I don't know if intended or not.
It is not intended at all. Like, I have changed slide. Do you see the slide now?
We see what is governance in DAO.
Okay. So, okay, so we are not going to make any assumption, and we're going to just assume that you guys have some knowledge about what a DAO is and how governance work. But I will quickly go over what is governance in a DAO, for instance. So what you might have in a lot of protocol, and I don't know if you ever used it or you ever used your voting power, but you have a protocol who has a token, and that token is also a governance token, which basically will give you two main action possible. You would either be able to vote for any sort of proposal, or you will be able to propose a change or an upgrade, or like whatever. Like it can be on the treasury side, it can be on the technical side. A lot of DAO vote on how to upgrade their protocol. So it's really, it can be a lot of things, right? So, and the way it works is usually there is a proposal that is released, and then everybody who has token is able to vote. And of course, often there is a quorum, so which is basically mean there is a threshold for a certain amount of voters to participate for the proposal to go through. There is also a time lock, which is it's a feature where it's actually a time frame where you can review whatever has been proposed and whatever is about to pass in the protocol decision. So this is basically how DAO works. So the reason why Wormhole has decided to go for something Multigov is for a clear demand. So before we get into it, I just want to make sure you understand the growth of Multichain token. So for instance, for Wormhole, as we presented in the first few times we spoke with, I think it was me and Urbit, 58 billion is about the cross-chain in USD volume, okay, that gets facilitated by Wormhole. And so among those, in this volume, they are originally, most of it was wrapped assets. So as we went over it a little bit, that was the most common bridging action and the most common asset you will find on the Multichain bridging, for instance. So that was originally what you will see. Now we have a lot more native token. I think you got a session about this. And what's coming up basically is like all sorts of token, governance token, LST token, liquid restaking, RWA, stablecoin, meme coin. Like basically today, the type of token they go multi-chain is it's varying, right? Like you can have all those sorts of tokens. So it's not only one type of token that is a wrapped asset from a version like a blueprint or something like this. It can be all sorts of token, and actually governance token are very important. Here's the current limitation of a single chain governance. So the problem you're having, and I will repeat this again because it's very important you understand the requirement for Multigov to make sense, is that your protocol has a token, and for instance, you deploy it natively on one single ecosystem, okay? And so you can vote in this ecosystem and it's all good, okay? The problem is what usually happens is that protocol wants to go multi-chain because they want to grow their user base, they want to reach out to more liquidity, or whatever the reason you want to go multi-chain. And the problem is once this exact same token that you were having on one single chain originally now is on different chain, and you do not have a Multigov, for instance, that means that every time you're going to want to vote for any sort of governance proposal, you're going to have to bridge your token from an ecosystem back to the native ecosystem where your protocol or your DAO governance token is used for voting. And that is what we call fragmented participation. So the problem is it will be very difficult for your user to not only, like, it will be difficult, but yeah, they can do it. But the main problem is that they will also have to pay for bridging, right? So there is a gas cost here involved. So it's more expensive. It takes a bit of time. You do not have, for instance, when you have a snapshot, you are restricted in time frame, right? If you have your liquidity, or if you have your token on, I don't know, 5 different other chains because you decided to allocate it to a certain protocol to generate some yield and so on, you do not have them on this chain, on the main chain that you're supposed to vote on. And maybe, let's say, your vote is to be able to pass a certain proposal, you will have more voting power the more token you have, okay? But if you have a fragmentation in the liquidity on that specific token, then you will have less voting power on your native chain. So this is the problem of the single chain. It's like, first you will have more gas costs for bridging, then it's less practical, and you are limited in time, and you will have to plan ahead if there is a snapshot or something to make sure you have the liquidity on your chain. So what multi-chain governance enable? So you have unified decision making. That basically means that regardless of where your token is, in any chain that is supported by Wormhole Multigov, you will be able to vote. Okay, so I have my, I don't know, let's say my W token, and they are on Solana, and I have others on Base, and when the time comes for me to vote on a proposal for the W governance, then it will be aggregated. So I would have my voting power that I do not need to move the liquidity, okay? I just have my voting power that is aggregated among all the chain, and I will be able to make the decision and to either make a proposal or to vote on something. So that would add more inclusive participation, because the problem also we've seen many times with DAO is that people start to lose, not that they lose interest, but if it's not easy to vote, and if on top of it you have a gas cost, and on top of it you have to plan it ahead, and on top of it you've forgotten where your liquidity is, because sometimes some people do, you will have less participation. And the problem with the very low participation is that you might not meet the quorum, for instance, the threshold that you need for passing your proposal. So that also can delay a lot of things and a lot of effort. And also protocol growth is important. Let's say you have, as I said before, the common flow that you will have is that first you will deploy your token multi-chain, and then you will try to grow your protocol on a bigger scale, right? So you might want to move also your governance, not just your token. So that is another thing that Multigov enable. So you need to understand that Multigov is a cross-chain governance system that extends traditional DAO governance across multiple blockchain network. Also, it's built with Tally. Tally is basically one of the main software layer for tokenized organization. So we are building this together. So it's a common effort. And here's what I was explaining before. So you have on a single chain DAO, you have a token, a governor, and a time lock. That's basically how it will work. Now, if you have, I don't know if you see well, in the multi-chain governance, it will work a bit like this. Sorry. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I cannot on the...
It looks okay. It looks fine. Bit hazy, but all good.
Okay, so let's say you have a hub chain, and I'm going to explain what is the hub and spoke deployment model here, and that should ring a bell because I think you must have seen it from the entity workshop. But I have a hub chain. My hub chain is basically where my token is deployed natively. Okay, so let's say my hub chain is Arbitrum. You will have a hub token, a hub governor, and a time lock, okay? Then this is what's going to happen on Spock chain. Spock chain can be many chain. It doesn't have to be one, okay? So one Spock chain will be Solana, the other one will be Base, the other one will be whatever. Then what basically Multigov does is that you bridge the token, the aggregator, it will aggregate the vote, okay? And then it would send the message to the hub chain. So there's always a constant flow between the Spock chain and the hub chain. And basically what it does is that you do not have to move your token back to your hub chain. You can definitely vote on a Spock chain or accept a proposal on the Spock chain. and then it would basically send in a batch. It will batch and aggregate all the vote on a certain time, and it will send it to the hub chain. That's basically what it does. And all of course, this is leveraging the core messaging protocol from Wormhole. So there are different layers on how the whole Wormhole ecosystem is taken into consideration there. And one of them is basically you using the messaging. And this is where the messaging is sent. This is what the relayer, there is a relayer as well. And the relayer will send all those messages between the hub and the Spock chain. Basically, one thing that you should, that's maybe the easier way to explain it, is that Multigov enabled token holder to create, vote, and execute governance proposal on any supported chain. And I think that is something that doesn't exist right now. So that is the main added value for Multigov for any sort of governance protocol. So basically you can, as I said, create a proposal, vote on it, execute it, and do any of this from a Spock chain, because maybe your liquidity is on, I don't know, on a certain chain, because on that protocol there is, for instance, a restaking protocol where you can restake your token, and there is a very good yield on this one. So you prefer to have those liquidity allocated on that chain. And the reason why you want it is for financial reason, okay, but you still need those tokens to be able to vote on that specific protocol. So this is what is basically enabled here. So the key feature are hub chain. So it's central coordination port for governance activities. So really think, I mean, hub is a self-explanatory word, but it's really what it is. There is a main chain where everything is concentrated, basically, it's coordinated. Then you have the Spock chain, which are additional chain where token holders can participate in governance. You, of course, when you get to the point where you are there choosing something like Multigov, you have assessed your market and you kind of know where your liquidities are. So let's say you are a protocol, you build your own protocol, you have your own native token, and you have assessed the fact that, okay, most of my users are going between Solana and Avalanche, or between Solana and Celo. Okay, so I will make maybe Solana the hub chain, and the Spock chain will be Avalanche and Celo. Like it's not restricted to certain chain, but it would also make sense that you allow the main Spock chain based on the volume and where your liquidity are. So of course you have the Wormhole integration, which leverage the core messaging protocol, and that's also very important because it's extremely secure. And so there are the governance token. Here's the hub and Spock. So you can see on the it's the same way to function as the entity hub and Spock model. It's very similar. So it will be a sort of but it's not using entity, as I said, is using the core messaging primitive. Another thing that is important to know is that, okay, it's built on top of the hub and Spock, but it's also built on top of the Open Zeppelin governance system. And that is very important to remember, because one thing you should know is that most of the DAO governance built on top of the governance system. First, because Open Zeppelin is one of the most and the best audited system out there, like, so not just for the governance, but like in general. So it's extremely secure, it's very well audited. So in terms of standard in the industry regarding DAO tooling, I think Open Zeppelin governance comes really into on the top. So the idea for Wormhole to build on top of the Open Zeppelin governor, it has two main values. First, it is an industry standard, which means that if you are already using it, then it's much easier for you to use Multigov. And given the fact that it's a very common choice, obviously we've seen a lot of people using it. And the second one is that it's very well audited. So we kind of try to choose partner. They are on the same level and take security as very importantly, like we do. And the third layer is that it uses the Wormhole messaging. So again, it's also extremely safe and secure, and you can access all data at any time through the Wormhole scan. So again, think of it a Wormhole product a bit more like a modular stack. So you will need to have a multi-chain token to use Multigov, because otherwise it does not make sense. But you can use them all, right? They kind of like stuck on top of each other, and they work fairly well together. So yes, thank you very much about this. This is basically, this is the Twitter. This is Evgeny. I think you had the workshop with him. So we are both the DevRel for Wormhole. This is the hacker cheat sheet, but I think you already got it. So I would leave that for now. And yeah, if you have any question, or I don't know where the window is, Anthony. I need help.
We have questions. That's all right. I can read them.
Okay, I think I'm back.
I have all the questions. She's fully back. She's got it.
I don't know where. Stop sharing. I don't know. Wait. Disable screen sharing. Okay.
There was screen sharing. Great. I will read some questions. What do we do? Let's take the logical ones first. Is this so? First question: is this intended for within Wormhole itself or other ecosystems? So
yes, it's a really good question. Yeah, because I was confused the first time they presented as well. I thought this was a product just for Wormhole. Okay, it is not. The idea is the generic Multigov framework. Like it's very similar to Entity in that sense. Like we build it for DAO to use it. So it's not. There is of course the Wormhole DAO uses it, but it has nothing to like. It's not exclusively for Wormhole. It is made to be a generic solution for other people. And other people to use it. And as I said, because it's built on top of the Open Zeppelin governor, it kind of gives a very easy entry door for the one who want to use it.
Okay, so I guess the general question is what can we build? How do they build? What do you want people to build? How should they build with it? Docs, SDK?
Yes, exactly. So this is the reason why I mentioned that it's maybe a bit more of an educational session. So you have on the documentation that I can send the link and everything, there is a tutorial. You can look at the code, you can look at the implementation and so on. However, at this point, this is why I mentioned that it is for people who already have a multi-chain token and already have a governance in place for that token, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. If you have both of those criteria, let's say you have deployed a multi-chain token and you also have a DAO governance logic in it, you can get into the implementation. It's not difficult. However, there is at one point we will have to help you to. It's not permissionless in the sense that you need to require something to Tally, which is a governance platform. But at this point, we will completely help you. But that is the only. This is the reason why I didn't emphasize so much on the implementation. But if you go in the Wormhole documentation, there is the full implementation, deploy on EVM, deploy on Solana, upgrade on EVM, upgrade on Solana, and the tutorial. So you can definitely have a look. So if any of you wants to build with it, no problem.
I guess the next logical question is which ecosystems are supported? I mean, I guess within the set of ecosystems, Wormhole already supports?
Exactly. So it's supported on what pretty much the messaging is supporting. So Solana, Ethereum, most of the EVM, the L2s, so the common one that you might need. Maybe there are some exceptions, it depends, but if you check the list of the messaging, usually you should be good. Yes, the dot seems quite past, I agree, because it's a new product and it's not really, I mean, you can definitely integrate, but it's not really something that we see on the like a first product to integrate, basically. So that is why it's a bit sparse.
No problem. What are the competitors to the product? Are there any? Do any sort of exist at the moment?
What, to our knowledge at this point, not really, because I mean it's a very specific need. So no, because you can definitely bridge. I mean, the main idea is that you don't have to pay the gas. So you make it easier for your user, but it's not like they cannot do it without Multigov. But the main idea is to reduce this sort of fragmentation for participation and to increase the fact that to increase to make it very easy for everyone to vote. But it is not that it's impossible. You can still bridge and just do it. So this is basically, this is basically why I don't think there is much competitor. But what we've heard is that it's something that is very wanted by a lot of DAOs because they find it very easy. Okay. There's a question in the question tab. Yes, there is a question tab.
Yes, way more logical. I don't know why people use the chat one, but yes, Steve is using the functionality properly. Well done,
Steve is following the developer following the UI. We're not.
Yes. Everyone else went for the bug, not the feature.
Yes. Okay, so what if the mint and burn model is used? So you only have a hub and spoke. There is no mint and burn Multigov. So Multigov is not like entity. You do not have the option. Where would the voting interface take place? It's just a front-end governance page and each individual chain is connected through the backend. I think this is really, this is on-chain action. Okay, so you will have basically very similar to other products we have. You will have a forge script, you will have to install it. This is not us taking care of the front end or the back end. Each protocol deal with this. Usually Tally is Tally. Usually Tally take care of this kind of thing, but for any sort of voting proposal and so on, you can build everything from scratch. I mean, it's a bunch of smart contracts. So whatever you want to do, if you want to have your own voting interface, if you want to use Tally, if you want to use there are others. What are the names of others? Voting proposal platform, I forgot, but
Snapshot as well. Snapshot,
yeah, the
Tally.
Snapshot. There's there are more. They are not all. What I remember from back in the day when I did a few voting on something, they are not all very decentralized or on-chain action. Like it's a bunch of people kind of like doing a very Web2 thing, and then it triggers some function on-chain to have like a recourse. This is a lot more proper on-chain voting, which you don't. Also, that's another thing you have to fully understand. There's a lot of on-chain proposal, there's a lot of DAO proposal that are not on-chain. So Multigov is based on a token that is 100% on-chain. There is a set of off-chain components that I think Tally take care of, but that is not something I'm fully aware of. I don't exactly know what's happening there, but on the contract level and on the messaging level, it's all on-chain. But yeah, I would add the documentation here.
Cool, good. Guys, any other questions? We had the mint and burn one. I think you answered that.
Which one?
The mint and burn one. What if the mint and burn model is used? Does this have
No,
different
I've
consequences?
answered that. There is no mint and burn for Multigov. It's only hub and spoke.
Nice. We talked about the voting interface in the back end. Steve is pointing out, he raised stuff. We talked about chains being supported, talked about competitors, we talked about the SDK, not yet. We talked about building on it, not yet, but it's actually designed specifically for.
You can, because it used it's not that you can use the SDK, it used the Wormhole messaging, but it's built into that Multigov. So if you see the comment, you see that, you can run a script. They are very clear parameter you can call. So in the documentation it's explained. So you're still using the messaging, right? So it's a Wormhole product. It's just that you don't have just Wormhole. There is a part that is handled by Tally. What else? Spockchain. Spockchain can be anything. Your Spockchain is just the rest that is not your hub chain. So your hub chain can be any Solana EVM or whatever. And the other way around, if you have a hub chain as Solana, you can have many EVM as a Spockchain or whatever. That's up to you. You define this. So there is no one specific hub chain. It's very much like on entity. You have a token that is deployed somewhere, and you have to tell basically the entity. You have to tell what is chain A and what is chain B, and it's similar here. It's your own setup.
Nice, guys. Any other questions? Otherwise, the Discord is always a good place.
Yes, I know. No?
I think we look good. Nice, to the point. Pauline, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, but as I said, if you have question about Multigov and there are things that are unclear, you can ping us on Discord, or you can ping us on Telegram. It is, as I said, I did not expect a lot of people to build anything with this, because there's a few requirements before that. But it's still a very valuable product. Like it's valid to use it. You just need to be at a certain stage of your project to be able to, but basically understand why you might want to use Multigov. But in the cross-chain realm, we think it's a very good product to have, for sure.
Absolutely. Excellent. Oh, Ivan is typing. He said interesting. It is interesting. Very good.
That's okay. No, but
yeah, it could have been anything there. Excellent. All right, Pauline, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, and also we are not aware of any competitor for that. But if you guys hear about anything that is similar, also ping us, because it's a fairly new one. So we take any feedback on it for sure.
Excellent. All righty. Brilliant. Pauline, thank you so much for your time and a great presentation. Thank you all for listening and joining and answering questions. There is a Discord. There are many more fantastic building opportunities to come, and we look forward to seeing you all next time. This will go up on YouTube tomorrow for your enjoyment in review. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely rest of the afternoon. And Pauline, thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.